Good afternoon and welcome to the Bitter Knitters podcast. It is Sunday, January 7th, 2018. I almost said 17. It is the first show of the new year. My name is Jacqueline and Justin is here.
Hello, how's it going?
Good.
Good. Not bad, not bad.
How
I feel
are you?
like it's been a while. Happy New Year.
Thank you. It has been a while, like way before Christmas was our last show.
Oh, yeah. When we talked about our top 10 shows.
That's right.
And well, we finally have TV happening this week. We got a lot of shows coming back and a lot of shows premiering. I ignored a lot of shows.
The best show is coming back tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night is Monday. Oh, Good Doctor.
The Good Doctor
is back tomorrow. Yay. I was
I'm
Golden
excited.
Globes? No, that's not a show.
Dr. Sean Murphy.
Yay. Well, what surprises me about Dr. Sean Murphy is it has not been officially renewed for a season 2 yet.
And it's got like the Golden Globe nominations, and it seems to be doing well in the ratings. I see a lot of people talking about watching it.
It's definitely one of the highest rated new drama shows or just new shows of the year. We do have this year, that's my segue into our little news items. We do have 2 of the new shows officially renewed for a second season. The first one being Young Sheldon.
I watched the first episode. I wasn't that impressed. I haven't watched again.
I don't even watch old
I'm
Sheldon.
not surprised it's doing well because people love the Big Bang Theory sort of thing. So I'm not surprised that the fans are tuning in to keep watching it, but it's just not my thing.
No, it never appealed to me at all. And anytime you put something after the Big Bang Theory, I assume that's where it's airing. It's gonna do well. And it had a lot of hype going into it. So what I'm interested in now is the actor playing Young Sheldon, if he's going to be involved in season 2 of Big Little Lies at all, or if his schedule is going to prevent him from appearing, because he played Ziggy in Big Little Lies.
Yeah, he may have to be cast because this is, he's the star of a show that's filming, 20 episodes, 23 episodes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought he was, I liked him in Big Little Lies, so it'll be interesting to see.
And as a child, he has different rules too, so he can't work like he could work, an adult.
Completely. And it was hard enough for Roseanne to get the actor who plays David for only one episode, who's currently on Big Bang Theory. Yeah, and apparently that was kind of a lot of big negotiations just to even borrow him for one episode.
Were you going to talk about the news about that show? The Big Bang Theory?
Big Bang Theory? Oh, how they think next season might be the final season?
Yeah, the actor said at, I guess, some sort of convention that 12 is probably going to be the end of it.
Yeah, 12 years for any show is a very respectable run.
And there's only so much you can do. With cartoons, we talk about something like The Simpsons, you can go completely outside of reality. But with a sitcom, there's only so much you can do. Everybody gets babies, and then
there's only so many stories you can tell with the same characters.
Yeah.
So it looks like that is on the way out, but Young Sheldon will be back for a second season. And it'll be interesting to see how much longer that can go, because eventually you're going to start getting
I think that's
Sheldon
they'll get that to a 100 episode and it'll be done.
Yeah, hopefully. To me, it always seemed like a weird idea, but apparently people have been watching it.
Mm-hmm.
So good for them. Another show got renewed this year and for season 2, and that is Fox's The Gifted.
Okay.
Yeah. I finally caught up with it. I let myself get behind 4 or 5 episodes. So I finally caught up. We've only got 2 episodes left, which will be next Monday. Not tomorrow, but next Monday. For some reason, they're skipping a week. And then it'll be a 2-hour season finale with season 2 coming back next year.
Okay. It's been okay. It hasn't been as exciting as the first couple episodes gave me, but I keep watching.
Yeah, and they introduced the Frost twins, which are the Stepford Cuckoos, the triplets. And they've been kind of interesting. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with that. They're definitely leaning very heavily in bringing up that Polaris's or Lorna's father is Magneto. They keep hinting at that. So it'll be interesting to see how far they go with that.
And you get a lot you told me, I don't know if you said it on air, but in the comics, the brother and sister are kind of evil, right?
Well, they actually do touch upon that in the show, because the characters that they are based on were those twins that we see in England.
Oh, the grandparents.
The grandparents. So they're kind of, those are, I guess, what they're using as the comic character, but they're definitely going that route with
There's a lot of
with the
foreshadowing
twins.
with them. Yeah.
Yeah. And I can almost kind of see.
You don't know which one's going to be more evil because you can kind of see her leaning that way. You think it's going to be the boy more so, but I definitely see a lot of,
at the
anger. Like anger leads to the dark side,
Anger leads to hate. Hate. I love doing my little Yoda that makes no sense. I feel like at the beginning of the series, they were definitely leaning towards the son being more on the evil side. But I feel like as it's gone on, I think if it's not both of them, it's going to be the daughter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I think is interesting. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm sure they're going to end on a cliffhanger. I do not know.
I kind of hope, it's awful to say, I kind of hope that Reed, Vampire Bill, dies because he's so useless in the show.
Yeah, I feel like Fred, Amy Acker, is making herself more useful than he is.
Yeah, she has stuff to do. She's like teaches, she organizes, and just Vampire Bill just walks around being like, we can't let our kids do this.
And there's only so long that I think that's pretty good that they can use him, and with the Sentinel cop guy too. I think there's only so long. But it'll be interesting. Like I said, they just like Runaways, they throw in a bunch of little Easter eggs for comic nerds, which I think is kind of fun. So it'll be interesting to see where they go with the season 2, but we are definitely getting a season 2. And did we ever discuss? We discussed that, Orville got picked up forever ago.
Oh yeah, that made me happy. I really like that show.
That's getting a season 2. Well, while things are getting picked up, we do have a freshman show getting pulled from the schedule, and that is an episode that we watched. I think I only watched the first episode of, and I hated it. And I have a feeling you watched the first episode too, and that is ABC's The Mayor.
Oh, that was terrible.
Bad.
That was really one of the worst things I've ever seen.
I had no desire to go back and watch any more of that show.
They really pushed that too. I saw advertisings everywhere, but it's terrible.
Yeah, I was supposed to come back this week. It's been pulled from the schedule. Whenever they pull shows from the schedule like that, you know that they're pretty much gone. Yeah. There's no hope. There's no hope in that show being renewed for another year. I feel like the big trend right now is they'll pull shows without officially saying they're canceled until it comes time to announce their new schedule. Then they're like, oh yeah, the show, it's not coming back. But so Lea Michele's got to find a new job. I feel like she can't land on her feet after Glee.
That's the scary thing when you're in like television or movies. You get known for sort of one thing, and it's hard for people to accept you as anything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's just always kind of been like a Barbra Streisand wannabe, right?
Mm-hmm. And well, she got to start on Broadway and then in Glee. And I think unless Ryan Murphy is going to cast her in something, I feel like she's going to have a hard time.
She was good at Scream Queens, though. I'll give her that.
Yeah.
Right? Or Scream. Yeah. Which one? Scream Queens. That's it. Yeah. She was really good in that.
Yeah. As Esther. And most of the first season she was in like that back brace. Yeah. That was pretty good. Another show that is ending its run is The Fosters, which is a show I believe you watch, right?
Saw that. Yeah.
But even though they're ending it with this current season, they are going to spin off with 2 of the characters, I guess, Callie and Mariana. I don't know if that's the name. They're going to be given.
Yeah, I heard there could be a 3rd as well.
Ooh, that.
Which I think if they do it, it'll be Callie's little brother because he's gay, right? And I think they'd probably.
Which would make sense because apparently they're going to do a time jump, so it's going to be set several years in the future. Well, they're going to be in Los Angeles, so that would make sense.
Yeah, so he'd be like probably about 20, 21, 22 at that time, his character, and
And that would make sense
to be gay in LA, I guess.
Announce it, because while I think they could easily age up those 2 actresses, if there's a kid right now who's like 12, 13.
He's only a teenager.
And he's going to have to play 20s, that it makes sense that
they'd recast
that. Now, does Foster seem like they're at a point where it can come to an end, or was it ready for it to end?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're kind of stretching some of the storylines out. It's funny because Callie is supposed to be like the main person, I guess, and I don't really find her all that compelling. She just keeps making the same mistakes and never learns. It kind of annoys me. I like Mariana. I think there's something about that actress that's really kind of genuine. But I love the lesbian couple, the moms, the most, and I'll be sad to see them go.
Would you give this spinoff a chance?
Of course, I'll give it a chance.
And it sounds like they're going to leave it open for people to
Yeah.
make guest appearances.
Yeah, of course. Oh, you know, our moms are in town. We're having dinner, and there'll be a little storyline or something. You know, they could do a 1 up 2 episodes.
So they'll be able to throw. That's an easy one. And apparently, Fox is looking at making a season 6 of Prison Break, but it sounds like it will feature kind of a whole new story with probably a fairly different cast.
Oh, I'll miss Michael Scofield, but that was not a great Prison Break season 5.
That's what I heard. It wasn't that great.
I watched it. It wasn't great. I just watched it for Michael Scofield.
But it looks like they want to come. What's interesting with Fox right now, though, is they're kind of in like a limbo point. They got to keep going forward with their existing shows and creating new shows, but they might completely change down the road if the Disney Fox deal goes through. Because right now, Fox TV has a production company which is making a lot of their shows. Well, that production company is now going to be under Disney, while the Fox series or TV channel is still going to have to go forward with something.
Yeah, it's going to have new programming and stuff still.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of it's going to be like cheap, like live stuff, sports stuff, maybe reality stuff. Well, yeah, it's going to be kind of a slow death for Fox, I think.
It's kind of sad because Fox really kind of did change TV back in the 80s. Like I remember growing up with just the 3 main stations, right? And when Fox started up in the 80s, you know, and it did different kind of shows that nobody was watching.
Even as a kid, because I was very young, 8, 9, 10, when I first discovered Fox, when Fox first went up. And that's when they had stuff like Married with Children, Simpsons came along soon after. It was Herman's Head. It was stuff that other networks weren't doing. And I definitely think we saw
even like you think of the X-Files when that started in the 80s. Like people would never put the X-Files on ABC or NBC.
No. Did you watch the new episode this week?
I did not. I didn't watch last season's either, to be honest. Sorry,
X-Files. I saw most of last season. I didn't watch the last couple. It was just kind of boring me. But no, I haven't watched yet. We finally got news this week that we had known all along. HBO officially announced Game of Thrones final season is not coming back till 2019.
Did they give a date, or is it just a year?
They're just saying the year, so that could be anywhere from
freaking soon into 2018 or 19.
January 1st.
Or at least January 15th. Like I can't wait any longer.
Well, they seem to do. I feel like they premiere a lot of shows like in the February time period.
Yeah.
And that's when I think we got Big Little Lies. So somewhere around there. And then they do kind of an April launch. And then they will usually do
this
August,
is the September. Thing, because isn't that when Westworld comes back too in January 19 or in 2019?
I believe Westworld comes back this year.
Oh, okay. Because I thought they'll definitely postpone one of those shows to show the other one, but I guess if it's 2018, I'm okay.
I'm pretty sure because I've been seeing ads before I watch it on HBO. They'll do coming in 2018, but clips, and they do show Westworld. So I think the plan is for Westworld to come back later this year.
Okay.
But
I'm just dying for my good shows.
Yeah, we've
only watched so many theory videos on YouTube.
And we've only got 6 episodes left, and most people seem to think it'll be back in its traditional spring spot. March, April. So we'll see. Hopefully they'll kind of do it in their February spot. But
for February sweeps.
Yeah,
not that it matters. It's going to get all the fucking ratings anyway.
It will get all the fucking ratings, especially drying out the way they are. But we'll get it. So it'll be nice. Hulu announced this week that they are reviving the TV show Animaniacs.
I did see that.
So Animaniacs was
I'm excited. I'll watch it.
Series that premiered in the early to mid 90s. I think 93 or 94. I have to admit, I never really watched it. My brother was a huge fan. I felt like I was too old and not cool because I was never cool. But
I thought there was a lot of adult jokes in Animaniacs.
There were, and I think I kind of missed the boat on it because I know I was in ninth grade.
For that.
I know when I was in ninth grade, I knew that a lot of my classmates were watching this, and I was like, I'm not watching Animaniacs as a ninth grader. My brother would watch it, and there were a lot of adult jokes. And I feel like if I went back now and watched it, I would enjoy it. I liked Tiny Toon Adventures, which kind of came before Animaniacs, But what's kind of
Well,
cool
I
is
kind
all
of really
the
hated Tiny Toon.
I like Tiny Toons. All the Tiny Toons episodes and all the Animaniacs and Pinky and the Brain are all on
Yes.
Hulu right now too. So that's part of this deal. So
Yeah.
apparently they've signed on for 2 seasons, probably starting sometime in 2020. That's really one of those shows that I feel like, even though it hasn't been on the air in almost 20 years, it's one of those that's remembered by people. I believe from what I gathered, it ages quite well. And it's never quite really gone away. It's always kind of there, and I feel like people have always talked about it. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
You see a lot of memes too, because they had used adult humor.
Yeah, exactly. They definitely did. I mean, there was some, you know, little, I guess, scandalous for the time that went over kids' heads, but the parents watching were like, "Mm."
And it's hello, nurse.
Hello, nurse. Exactly.
So we know one detail about the next season of American Horror Story, season 8, and it already kind of makes me want to run away as fast as I can because I never even finished Cult. Apparently, it's going to take place in the future.
Oh.
We don't know how far away in the future. It could be like 5 weeks from now.
It could be like 2019 when Game of Thrones is on TV.
That'd be funny. And like Ryan Murphy's like, yeah, I'm going to spoil it all for everybody. So I don't know what that means. That could be anything from, 2019 to like 3035. So I'm not sure what that means, but they haven't done a show like that yet, a season in the future. I don't think it sounds very appealing, to be honest, but
we'll see. I'll give it a chance. I love. I mean, Cult was okay, but I really loved Roanoke and I really loved Murder House. So I'll always give it a chance. I've watched them all from front to back.
Yeah, and they're thinking season 9 could still possibly be the Murder House Coven crossover, which sounds so unappealing to me.
I'll watch it. It might give us more Queenie.
But she's dead.
She could come back. She's a witch. It could be in a different time period before she died.
Yeah, I guess it all depends on when Hotel took place, too.
Yeah.
Because her character appeared on Hotel and they murdered her. Aw. Remember a couple months ago we talked about Netflix ordering Sabrina the Teenage Witch to series?
Yes.
And when they talked about coming up with that show to begin with, they're like, oh, yeah, we're open to like all sorts of ethnicities and ages to play Sabrina. And we're looking and we can have an African-American or an Asian Sabrina. Yeah, they cast the whitest white girl to have ever whited.
The blonde white girls.
Yeah. That Kiernan Shipka, who was on Mad Men. And we've seen her on other things too, pop up here and there.
Yeah.
And she is going to be the Sabrina. And if you look at a few pictures of her, she's kind of Clarissa looking.
Yeah, well, I'll say this about her. I mean, we've seen her from, red carpets and things like that. And she always dresses age appropriately, which I appreciate. And we haven't seen her in any kind of scandals or internet things or, doing anything out of her age range that we know of. So maybe she's got a good head on her shoulders.
Yeah, she's one of those that she did start Mad Men when she was fairly young, and she's 18 now. Yeah. And she's one of those that you've never heard of her name in scandals. And so that's good. I just think it's funny that they like put this out there. It's like, oh yeah, we're looking at like being diverse.
Completely different direction.
And they did not. So, but that's fine. She's a good little actress. So, apparently she was in Feud. She was in Feud this year, which I did not watch.
Oh, that's right. She played Betty Davis's daughter.
B.D. Hyman.
Yeah. Betty Davis's daughter. She was good.
Yeah, no, she's a good actress in everything I've seen her in, so it'll be interesting. Again, it's interesting that CW decided not to pick it up, so Netflix took it instead, which would make sense in most places in the world, because most places in the world, Riverdale is a Netflix original series.
Yeah.
It gets that label, which is so weird to think that like
shows that get the Netflix original always freak me out because I'm like, this is on TV.
Yeah, well, like if you go to Europe, Star Trek Discovery is a Netflix original.
Oh, so weird.
And here in the States, a show that we're going to talk about in a little bit, that aired on a British TV channel several months ago. And yet it's got the Netflix original label. So it always just kind of throws me off a little bit. Got 2 more short stories. The Today Show officially announced their co-host replacement to replace Matt Lauer, and it was an okay decision. I think kind of the boring, safe one, but they promoted Hoda Kotb to replace Matt Lauer on the Today Show.
What will Kathy Lee do without her drinking buddy?
Well, she still has her drinking buddy for now. She's going to stay on
Yeah.
that 4th hour with Kathy Lee. I have a feeling that's probably maybe once like September hits, they usually do their big changes around then. That maybe they'll do something new with that 4th hour. Maybe they'll
Kathy's pretty old. She might want to retire.
Yeah, and she's at the point where she only kind of works when she wants to.
Yeah.
So I think she's at the point where she's probably not going to be around much longer. When she retires, we'll probably see something done with that 4th hour. Hey, maybe we'll get Megyn Kelly for 2 hours.
I haven't even seen her for 1 minute. So.
I finally watched some of her show while on break the last couple of weeks, and it's awkward. She is just
the little clips I've seen here and there. She's pretty preachy too.
Yeah, I saw that a little bit, and she's dumb. She had a bunch of like food peeps. She was talking about like eating healthy and diets, and just the things she was saying. She just came across as so like uneducated. It was just so stupid. Yeah. And like Bob Harper from The Biggest Loser was there, and he was like, you could see the look on his face, like, bitch, come on. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. But as soon as Matt Lauer left, they put Hoda in that spot as kind of like a temporary thing. But what happened is that the ratings immediately just exploded once Matt Lauer was gone. And so I guess they think that Hoda might be part of that. So I guess they don't want to mess with a good thing by bringing someone else in.
Yeah. I mean, I'd rather watch Hoda than Matt, so.
Yeah. I mean, Hoda seems like a very nice person. I think she's kind of boring TV, but she seems like a very nice person.
She seems genuine, too. Like
she does. She seems like a very nice person. But I don't think we'll get any controversies out of her, which is probably a good thing. And that's the first two female anchor team on the main part of Today's Show. Obviously, Hoda and Kathy Lee have been doing their thing. And like Florence Henderson was there for a while too before Kathy Lee came. I think it was like Hoda and Florence Henderson. It was weird.
Oh my gosh.
One last story. And what do you think about this whole Jeopardy thing that happened a week ago? Do you remember this?
Oh, with the Gangsta's Paradise?
Yes.
Yeah, we talked about this on the main show. I mean, the rules are the rules, and
and
we kind of have. Yeah,
we've seen it several times before. So quick recap. The clue was a song by Coolio, and it's before and after. A song by Coolio from Dangerous Minds goes back in time to become a 1667 John Milton classic. The guy answered, and he said, "Gangster's Paradise Lost." Alex gave that okay, but then when they came back at commercial break, because they have a team that checks all the answers.
Yeah, they're always checking.
And Alex is like, sorry, it's Gangstas, which is, if you look at the title, that's what it is. But it seems like such a small, but that's been done before. There's kind of a big clip that went around a few years ago. I think it was either the kids tournament or teens tournament, where it was during Final Jeopardy. And they allow misspellings, except if the misspelling changes the pronunciation of the word.
Yeah.
And so there was a kid who misspelled something slightly, and it changed the pronunciation. So Alex kind of was his normal stern Alex self, and you could tell that the kid kind of was starting to cry, which was kind of awkward. But the rules.
Yeah. I was reading in an article as well that in the dictionary, gangsta and gangster have two separate entries, and they're two separate definitions. So they are two different words.
So weird that we live in a world where gangsta is in the dictionary.
But did you see what Coolio said?
I did not.
He said that the guy he would have gave it to him, and he said to white people, the ER is always going to get you.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty Coolio.
Coolio's like, whoa, my name is in the news. Cool.
Exactly. People are listening to his song again. He got some more residuals.
I'd rather just listen to Amish Paradise by Weird Al. Yeah. That's a better song. But the guy ended up winning, so it didn't really affect things.
Yeah.
I mean, that would have been kind of like bad for him if he lost.
If that was like the Final Jeopardy.
Yeah, because that would, especially if they spelled it out, they would have gotten it wrong. But it cost him $3,200, that one single question.
Yeah. because he got it wrong, and then he had to lose the money that they had awarded him.
Yeah, which in Jeopardy world is a lot of money for a single question.
Yeah.
But he ended up winning that game, so that was good. But I just it's always fun when Jeopardy's in the news like that, because it's always, I just like to see.
Yeah, and get better soon, Alex Trebek. We know where you're listening. You just had brain surgery, so get better soon.
Yeah, get better soon. Yeah, they were going to start filming the college tournament soon, and they had to push that back to a couple months later because they are stopping production for a few weeks. So Alex Trebek can recover, but he's in his late 70s, so he's definitely but he's currently contracted through the end of 2020. I think we're going to see him probably retire after that, but I say that every time his contract is up.
Every time. I can't believe he renewed again. So
yeah, but when you look at Bob Barker was doing it like into his low 80s. He's
like 200 years old.
Yeah, he was like,
and he's still running around saving elephants and shit. So
that's crazy. I want whatever drugs that guy's been taking.
For real.
Are you ready to talk about some shows that we watched this week?
Yes, definitely.
So we got 3 new shows, and then we've got a returning show that is returning for its final season on CMT this year, and that is one of our favorites, Nashville.
Yes, Nashville.
And we known for a while that this is going to be the final season. It's season 6, second season on CMT. And I feel like it's never been quite the same show after Raina got T-boned in the car after her whole stalker incident.
Well, she was kind of, the main character.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's tough for any show to kind of have to work around writing out a main character. And then what do? Do they bring in new characters? Do they increase the existing characters?
Well, yeah, exactly. And when you think of like a character like Deacon, right? Now his wife is gone, and of course you got to do something with that character. So when they bring in the love interest, you immediately got the people are like, no way,
Yeah. Well, what's kind of funny is I feel like they're trying to prepare the audience by having all the characters be like, it's okay, get yourself out there, get a girl, do it. They
exactly.
All so we know that he's going to end up with that blonde lady who we did not see this week, Jessie, but she's still in the credits. So
she's in the previews for next week. I actually saw the preview.
Oh, I did not see the previews.
She's in the previews.
So we'll definitely see her, and I think that's how we're going to end the series, is those 2.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to have time to write in somebody new for him to fall for,
No, especially now that Rachel Bilson is completely gone. No. But yeah, then you have Daphne and Maddie having to deal with the death of their mother. And
there's it was Christmas time, and it was their first Christmas picture, Christmas without mom, and first New Year's without mom. So those are emotional things.
Yeah, the episode needed more Daphne.
It did. That was not enough Daphne. Too much Scarlett and not enough Daphne.
And too much Maddie. So Scarlett and Gunnar have broken up, and so Scarlett's hanging around with the girls and with Deacon, and like last minute, Maddie gets an
Their
invite.
band is broken up too. Like they're not making music together.
Yeah, they're not making music at all. Yeah, together.
The exes are exed.
Which they've done that like 800 times in this.
I know.
In 6 seasons, how many times can that happen? So Maddie got an invite for some like Christmas, New Year's Eve, whatever, some holiday show
thing. Yeah.
Some holiday show out in LA, and Deacon's like, oh, Scarlett, you got to be her chaperone. Maddie's like, I'm 18. And I'm like, nope, Scarlett, you got to go for whatever.
She's like the dumbest 18-year-old in the world.
She is. So she gets out there, she does the concert, and she meets this new kid named Jonah, who apparently is some pop star. He's been in movies.
I want to smack Jonah. He's so smug.
Jonah kind of really annoyed me.
Yeah, I didn't like him. It was like, bring back Colt.
I think you say bring back that schizophrenic homeless guy.
No, I would never say bring back him.
It does make me miss the days of Colt. You're right. Yeah. And so obviously he's the one who wanted Maddie to be there, and he's flying her home in his jet and trying to invite her. And obviously he's got some sort of infatuation.
He's into her.
So I don't think that's gonna be the last we see of Jonah. And we kind of learned
seems like she's like 8 feet taller than him, and her head looks about 12 times bigger. Like she has such a big fat head.
I feel like she grew like 20 feet between seasons.
Yeah, she's like 11 feet tall. Like I just don't know how she's so tall.
So I don't know. I did not like the Jonah stuff. We'll definitely be seeing more of him, I
Yeah,
assume. But we kind of learned
Maddie.
he's
She's 18 now. She's probably gonna have like lots of sex,
oh
carefree
god,
sex,
no. Just
guilt-free sex.
end the show right now. I don't want to do that. Don't. Now during her sex, will Daphne be in the doorway?
Creeping awkwardly. Yeah, she'll be like scandalized.
Gross. But we learn he's kind of flaky. He invites her to like a recording studio the next day, and he's not there. So we know that he's not.
And she'll probably. My guess is she'll see him on a because she always goes on the gossip websites. She would be like me if I was a celebrity, constantly on the gossip websites. But and she'll probably see a picture of him like making out with some girl at a club or something. She'll be like, "Oh, I thought he liked me," and she'll be all like crying.
And then Scarlett will be there big. It's okay, honey.
Have some ice cream. I have a shitty love life too.
My storyline's nothing but being a chaperone for you.
Well, next week she's performing, and she can't perform without Gunner.
God, speaking of Gunner, his hair.
Oh my god, it's like he went through a midlife crisis.
It's so hideous.
It's white. It's white, except for it's completely black at the roots, like Madonna in the freaking 90s.
It looks so bad. And I almost feel like they were trying to hook him up with Will.
I know.
So he's performing at some party in Nashville, and it's his first time without Scarlett. And of course, he has trouble too until Will comes on the stage. Obviously, I think we're going to see them form a band, maybe with Avery. Because Avery really didn't do anything this episode either.
No, other than be like, Juliet, calm down.
Yeah, pretty much. That's all he did. We'll get to Juliet in a minute because that was the stupidest story.
Yeah, but you know what? I like Will. I like the character of Will, but I don't need to hear every scene about how he's so fantastic on stage and everything. Like, we get it. He's a good showman.
And apparently his storyline is going to resort to like drugs or steroids or something this year. I'm like,
Will's
I don't need to see that. Apparently that's what I've been reading.
Steroids?
Apparently he's like inserting steroids in his ass in one of the previews. I have not seen.
For what? Why? To recover from an injury? Why is he doing this?
I don't know.
To be in the Gay Cowboy Olympics? What's going on?
No. I hope I read that wrong, but that's what I read this morning.
This is more like something Gunner would do anyway, but okay, Will.
I guess he's having trouble getting over Zach. I was kind of surprised that Zach popped up again, but Zach popped up, and he and Deacon were like on good terms.
He's in all the promo photos, so
I was so confused why he and Deacon were on good terms.
How did they like make up so quick after all that weird shit from last year? I can't even remember what happened last year.
It was like he wanted to like have the brand marketing, and then so yeah, he turned off their power, and that they were going to kind of rebel against him, and they were like fighting, and now like him and Deacon are like best buddies. He's like, oh, get out there on New Year's Eve, Deacon, and get some tail, and they're like being good buddies, and they were very like they tiptoed around Highway 65. I have no idea what situation Highway 65 is in because they weren't clear about that at all. Are they still a label?
I don't understand.
They weren't clear.
I think they are still a label because remember that guy, that blonde lady that Deacon's gonna end up with. Her ex was like, "How's your little playground 65 or something?" He made a joke about their name.
That's who that guy was. Yeah, okay.
He looks like such like a porn.
Yeah, that guy is so skeezy looking. And Zach's got a new guy, and Will got jealous about that.
Jelly.
So I think we're going to see about that.
Jelly.
And Deacon didn't really have much of a storyline. But then we have Juliet.
Oh, Juliet. Like, just make some music and be happy. Now she's going to go to a Scientology type church.
Yeah.
Cult?
Yeah. So she kind of loses it on stage and kind of goes crazy. And so her and Avery get away, and she runs into this older guy who I guess was that guy we saw in the cast photos.
Yeah.
And because we didn't know who this older guy was. And
we didn't know who he was.
He's pretty much a cult leader. And she's going to fall in his like cult, I assume.
I know him from, I didn't recognize him in the pictures, but when I was watching the show, I'm like, I know him. So I looked him up. He was from Drop Dead Diva.
Oh, okay. A show you watched.
A show I watched.
But yeah, it's like, I don't
like that storyline so far. We'll see what happens with it, but I don't. Like the same when she got all religious. I don't like just Juliet, be you being a fucking diva, stomping around with your high heels. And Who buys probably $100 tickets to go to a concert to hold up a sign and call someone a thief? Like, no, I ain't got time for that. I ain't got money for that.
No, that's a good
And do you
point.
care that much, really, that somebody stole this song? Make your own song. Remember they did it with Blue? Or not Blue. What was that song? How Do I Live? No. Was it How Do I Live?
How do I? Oh yeah, how do I live?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that was a little different because what happened with that is, sorry, it's a totally going
But
off
I
the
mean, like,
course.
yeah, it's not a
But
stolen song, but
yeah, so what they did with that is that the people doing the soundtrack and movie Con Air came to Leanne Rimes' camp and had her record that song. So she recorded it, and she was, what, 15, 16 at the time, and they just felt like it just wasn't what they wanted. It just didn't have the emotion. And so then they went to Trisha Yearwood, and she got the job, and she was on the official Con Air soundtrack. But I don't know what happened. Somewhere there must have been some sort of bitterness. But while Trisha's was going around, they released Leanne's version. So it was almost like you had dueling How Do I Lives.
yeah, I did prefer Trisha's.
Oh, Trisha's was so much better. And then some Frankenstein idiot decided to mash the two together, which was absolute
gross.
horror.
I never heard that.
That was bad. That was bad.
But yeah, I mean, like, you can have versions of a song. Look, we had the same sort of thing. Kelly Clarkson and Beyonce's Halo. It wasn't the same song, but it was the same music.
Yeah, stupid Ryan Tedder.
Yeah.
Well, even when you look at cross genres, kind of around the same time, I remember All For One. I can't believe I just shouted out All For One. They covered like two songs that the country artist John Michael Montgomery did. Like immediately after he did them, yeah, I Can Love You Like That, and I Swear.
Oh yeah, that's right. And you don't listen to reggae very often, but reggae artists almost always take songs from country, rock, anything, and they'll make their reggae version of it. So I mean, it happens. Who cares?
And there was a country version of I Don't Want to Miss a Thing right around the time.
Yeah, I mean, if I was Maddie, I would have did my version of that song and been like, I'm younger and cooler than, not really, than Juliet.
Yeah. And then let the fans decide. Exactly. If they're that upset at Juliet, they would probably buy Maddie's version.
Yeah.
Again, you should be in the writing room for Nashville.
Well, they didn't listen to us for all these years, and now they're being freaking, canceled. So
yeah, exactly. There you go. So we'll see.
Where's their spinoff show with Daphne?
That needs to happen.
Mm-hmm.
That needs to happen. Just Daphne.
They should let her go to Los Angeles and join Maya, or what the hell, Mariana and Callie from the Fosters.
Yes, I would actually watch
send that suggestion.
But yeah, I wasn't really feeling this episode in Nashville at all.
It wasn't that great for a comeback new episode.
It's the final season.
I'll definitely keep watching.
So we'll see where they go. At some point,
can I just ask this question before we move on? Yeah. Wasn't freaking the mayor Teddy supposed to get out of prison like 6 months after Rena died or something?
I think they forgot about him.
Yeah, he's off with Veda somewhere. Veda.
Yeah, and the homeless singing man.
Yeah, and the schizophrenic ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, they just people like to leave town and never hear from him. And that Liam, that brunette lady that murdered her boyfriend or whatever, that singing lady.
Oh yeah, and Scarlett's baby daddy.
I remember when season 1 had that mayor guy, that black bald guy.
Oh yeah, the original mayor that was running against Teddy.
Yeah. He was a main cast member too. Season 1, they're like, this show's gonna be about the politics of Nashville.
No.
Yeah, so many. I feel like all these forgotten.
Oh, the homeless girl last year. You never heard about her? She's still homeless.
And now Rachel Bilson will have disappeared.
Yeah, come on, people.
So maybe Daphne can run away with the homeless girl, and they can search for Vita. That could be a spinoff.
Like a detective agency.
Yeah, yes, Daphne Detective Agency. The DDA.
I think I just got a new name for a fan fiction. I mean screenplay.
50 Shades of No.
No.
Well, that's how that whole happened. With super
that's true, but I ain't going down that route.
So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. So what I find interesting is that last year we had Connie Britton, who played Raina James. She escaped Nashville to appear on the most bonkers, weirdest, awful show I've ever seen called 911.
I didn't watch. Is it a drama or a comedy? What is it?
It's a good question. I don't know.
I mean, is it a drama that by accident became a comedy?
Yes. So it's a Ryan Murphy show. Now, Ryan Murphy shows, I feel like, usually start out quite grounded and realistic and good. And then the longer they go on, the more bonkers and batshit crazy they became. This skipped all of the good stuff and just started with batshit crazy. So the show features Connie Britton as a 911 operator. Apparently, she's the only 911 operator in New York or in LA. I think she's the only one hired because she's the only one we see. So I think she answers every single 911 call in the Los Angeles
Probably.
area.
That's how good she is.
Yeah, she's awesome, so she can do it. But at the same time, we also know that she takes care of her mother who has dementia and Alzheimer's. I don't know why we need to know that, but she's taking care of her.
Because at one point, she's going to take a call about her own mother.
Oh, that makes sense.
I haven't even watched this show, but I'm going to tell you that.
So it features her, and then it features a group of firefighters and a group of police that go out and answer the 911 calls, and that's pretty much the whole show. At the beginning, we see them answer a call. A woman kills herself, and the firefighter guy is kind of dealing with this. There's also a hot young firefighter guy with a weird birthmark on his eye that will randomly take the fire truck out and like have sex with women. And and so besides the suicide one at the beginning, the show features 3 main 911 calls. So pretty much they get a call, they go out, do the case, they come back, they get another call, they go out. That's the whole show. So the first one, this like druggy guy calls, is like, I hear a baby in my walls. And they're like, you hear a baby in the wall? You're crazy. But they go out there and they're like, dude, you're crazy. He's like, no, there's a baby in the wall. I heard a baby in the wall. And then they hear a baby in the wall. And so the young hot guy, like grabs his axe and they're like, no, you can't chop it down in the wall because you could kill a baby if a baby's there. So apparently a teen mother flushed her preemie baby down the toilet and it was in the walls and the pipes, and they rescued the baby. And at first it didn't have a heartbeat, but they were able to get the heartbeat. And then the cop played by, oh my God, why am I blanking on her name? Angela Bassett found the teenage mother who's bleeding to death after giving birth to the baby. And so the firefighter has the baby in the ambulance, and Angela Bassett comes with the mother. It's like, here, bring her in. And the firefighter's like, no, I don't want to save her life. She tried to kill the baby. And Angela Bassett's like, shut up, here's the mother. And they go off to the hospital.
I can barely get my toilet to flush a turd. How's it flushing a baby?
I don't know. And they keep saying it was a preemie, but it was a pretty big looking baby. So I don't know. I don't know what was going on. They could at least like try to, I don't know. And then we find out that Angela Bassett's living with her husband who's having issues, and he comes out to his kids, be like, oh, I'm gay. And they're like, oh, is that why you and mommy are getting a divorce? And they're like, we're not getting a divorce. And then they have a whole argument. And then we get a call where, of course, Connie Britton is in her 911 place. She's the only 911 operator in LA. And there's a snake handler, someone who takes care of all these snakes. They walk into her room, and she's got this giant, like, white, yellow Britney Spears, like, boa, like, around her neck, and she can't breathe. And she's like, oh! And then the young firefighter guy's like, what am I going to do? So he takes his axe, which he's great at. He got his axe and chops off the head of the snake.
Oh, my God.
Rescuing the lady.
Fault.
Rescuing the lady. And then later he gets in trouble because he takes the fire truck, goes back to that place, and has sex with the snake lady on the roof of the building.
God,
and then he gets fired. He gets fired for always doing that. And meanwhile, on his way out of the building, though, we get another call. And there's a little girl, like 9 years old, and she just moved to LA with her family. She's home alone, or she's no one else is in the house, but there's like an intruder. There's someone else in the house, so she's really scared. And there's, I guess, like 2 or 3 people or whatever. And all the fire people are off on another mission we don't see, and there's only this like punk ass guy who just got fired. But Angela Bassett's like, we need a fire person. We need a fire person to come by and do the siren. If it's a police siren, it's going to tip him off. But we don't know, because she didn't know the address of the house. So to find the address of the house, they took the fire truck. I guess they were having trouble doing it, and I guess for whatever reason, doing this weird plan worked much better. The show makes no sense, so bear with me. Okay. So they do the fire alarm, and they finally find out where it is, and that, of course, the punk ass guy is the only guy that can do it. So he's there on the site, and then so now that they know, Connie Bren was like, "Oh, okay, the police are coming, but I can get you a secret way out so you don't get caught." So she like uses her technology to get the intruders like on their way out. But of course, once they get out of the house, the police is right there waiting for them. So go Connie Bren, she saved the day. But there's one guy who was still loose, and he came out the front and he had a gun and he was going to shoot the girl, but the mom came out and mom got the girl back, and he's like, I'm gonna get out of here. So he gets on a motorcycle with his gun, starts shooting. He goes one way, but the police are blocking, so he goes the other way back in front of the house, and the firefighter just happens to be on top of his truck and turns on the hose and knocks the guy off the motorcycle.
Oh my god.
And because he did such a good job, he got his job back in the end.
This is extremely dramatic. I might have to watch this.
It was just so batshit bonkers. Like, I don't know. My favorite scene was the snake just chop.
I feel bad that the snake got killed because that's not the snake's fault. It's you want to live with a giant snake that can kill you. That's your fault.
It looks like she had like several snakes. So yeah, I feel like she
you
was
were food to a snake that size, and that's your own fault, dum dum. You deserved that.
Yeah, I felt like they could have handled that differently, but that was just to show us that guy is kind of like off the rails and is kind of. Kind of a maverick. So that is 911, and it is. I will probably watch it again because it was just absolutely insane.
I might check it out. It sounds interesting.
Yeah, it was. It was. It was. So let's go ahead and quickly, and that's on Fox. I think Thursday nights. I think Wednesday or Thursday nights, and obviously on demand afterwards. But it was, if you want kind of an absolute crazy show, I would recommend it. It was kind of fun to watch. It kept my interest, which a lot of shows don't.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so we got about 15 minutes to talk about 2 Netflix shows. The first one we're going to talk about is called End of the Effing World. They do crosses out, so it's not the full word.
Okay.
End of the Fucking World, which was a show that was shown on British television back in the fall. But now Netflix picked it up as a Netflix original for other areas around the country. And it's about 2 17-year-old kids. We have James and we have Alyssa. First thing we hear James says is like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm a psychopath. And we see how he's like killed bunnies and all this stuff. And then he's
stuck his hand in boiling grease.
Oh, yes, when he was a kid. So his hand is all crazy. He's like, I want to kill myself a human. And so Alyssa and him meet at school, and Alyssa's kind of a rebellious girl, and she's got kind of a weird home life. And they kind of go off on their own little road trip. They run away. At one point, they decide to go to her father's house because her father and mother are separated. But they run away together, and they kind of get into
adventures.
Some things. Yes, adventures. We'll call them adventures. What did you think? About this show?
You know what? This is what I love about British television. There's it's quite different from what we usually see, and I think it's the acting's good, the writing's good. It's a different kind of story that we're not used to seeing, and I loved it. I was hooked within the first 2 minutes.
They did a good job.
Told me to watch the first episode this morning, and I watched 4. So
yeah, I'm up to 4 also. There's 8, which is nice. And what's also nice is I was going in expecting them to be 40 to 60 minutes long. They're 18 to 20.
Yeah,
22 tops.
You can get through those really fast.
So it's a very easy, short binge. I definitely want to see where it goes. I don't want to spoil too much, but I feel like all these men they come across are so creepy.
That's because men are creepy. No offense to the men out there listening, but there's a good portion of men, and even the good guys who don't realize that they're creepy, are creepy.
Aww.
Sorry, not you, Justin.
So the guy that picked them up in the car was creepy.
He was he literally did a super creepy thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was interesting. She kind of Daphne'd and watched it go.
She did.
She totally Daphne.
She's a Daphne. She Daphne'd her family at that birthday party or whatever was happening, and she
Oh,
Daphne'd him in the cafeteria. Yeah,
she's totally
maybe
a
that's why I
Daphne.
like her. She's a Daphne.
There we go. That explains everything. And then later on in the series, we meet two police officers, two detectives that are trying to find James and Alyssa. And it's weird. I felt like their scenes are almost played for comedy, which was kind of interesting.
Yeah, it is, because they're like these. I mean, I would watch a show with those two cops.
Anytime their scenes, like, I felt myself paying more attention to their scenes, and
Yeah, like even when they're questioning the guy afterward, and he's like, it was cool jacket, but it was not a cool jacket. You know what I mean? And they're like, no.
Yeah, I just kind of like the tone of their scenes, and they don't come on until I think episode 4 is the first time
we didn't see them till 4. Yeah,
and out of 8, and I'm sure we'll see more of them as the show goes on. But it's definitely an interesting series.
And by the way, even her stepfather is a fucking creep. This show is about creeper guys.
Yeah,
and the one guy you think is the creepiest is not the creepiest so far. We'll see.
James.
Yeah, James.
Yeah, because he kind of comes to a realization. And I think we're going to get some of his background in episode 5, kind of explain him a little bit.
The little boy playing him in the flashbacks, super, super scary looking little boy.
Well, he's kind of scary looking, James.
Yeah, he is. But he's like awkward scary. And I'm already used to him. But that little boy in the flashbacks, I'm like, that's like Damien, like the Omen.
Yeah, and I did.
Blue eyes and the black hair.
I did like the scene in episode 2, how they kind of get into the issue with the car.
Yes, that was funny. Yeah, there's a lot of cute, funny little moments in it.
Yeah, it's definitely an enjoyable show. I recommend. It's kind of a smaller show, so it's not one of these that you're hearing a lot about.
Yeah, but I bet you word of mouth will spread.
I think so.
I feel like this has potential for a lot of people. Like my son's age would probably enjoy it. People our age can enjoy it. Well, I'm older than you. People your age and my age could enjoy it.
I don't feel like it's one of those shows that is going to be just a teen show or just
no. It's the same with like 13 Reasons Why. I'm sure they thought it was going to be a teen show, but so many adults watch that too.
Mm-hmm. And I think more people should watch American Vandal. No,
I've been sharing it. I've been telling people to watch it. So,
but yeah, I've looked at reviews, and all the reviews for this have been glowing. So I think we'll see. Because it's refreshing and unique, and like I said, the acting is good, and people, we don't want to see the same story retold in a different way. Like, we don't need to see another Frankenstein TV show. We don't need to see another, I don't even freaking know. I can't even think, but about a queen or something. We've seen those shows. Let's have something different, and this is different. And what's kind of cool about Netflix is without Netflix, we wouldn't have a way to see some of these shows. Obviously, this show wouldn't be made. Well, not legally, but I'm talking about in general, most people.
Yeah.
The show would premiere in England. People in England would have been able to watch it. Maybe it would come over here through, it wouldn't be a PBS show, but maybe I don't even think this is a show BBC America would pick up.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Because I think usually more dramas and stuff, right?
Only like a Netflix or Hulu would it be possible for us to see some of these shows.
People, open your mind. I mean, even if you watch, like you're used to watching like, sci-fi or something, look up some of these British shows. I've watched quite a few of them, and I'm going to tell you, they're almost always a million times better than what you're seeing in America and Canada. Watch them. They're good. Go back and watch Misfits. It's on Netflix. There's a ton of shows. You can find them. Black Mirror, we've talked about previously. Watch a show like Black Mirror.
And what's interesting is that usually they got short series and short seasons. So it's not a lot of time to devote to.
Even if it's been on like for 6 years, it's probably still only like 10 episodes.
That's so true. Like, I assume American Shameless probably has more episodes than British Shameless at this point.
I think, season 1 probably has more episodes than all of Shameless UK.
Yeah, look at something like The Office, which is looked back at so fondly. There's only a handful of episodes of that series.
Yeah, I went to watch that. I thought, okay, I'll watch this. It'll be quite a few episodes. It was like 12 episodes or something, I think I watched. It's not a lot, which it's kind of interesting the way they do it. But I feel like that's good, though, because it allows them to tell the stories that they want. Mm-hmm. And you don't get filler episodes.
Yeah. Well, I was reading something today with Seth MacFarlane about the Orwell saying, yeah, we could make 22 episodes instead of 10 to 12, but I'd rather make 10 to 12 episodes that fit the show and are meaningful rather than have 10 and half of them be complete filler. And that's exactly the
Yeah,
word
and
you
then
use,
also
is
they can put
filler.
all the money into the special effects, and you don't have to
Mhm.
stretch it out. And no, I think they're doing the right thing. I don't mind a short season. I mean, of course, I always want more because I like, you like
If
characters
it's
and
a
you
show
want to
you
spend more
like,
time
yeah.
with them. But I appreciate when you do. I don't like filler episodes, so I'm fine with,
Yeah. If it tells a complete
10 good
story, that, yeah,
episodes.
exactly. If it tells a good story, and because I do feel like even shows I love, stuff like Buffy, like there'd be episodes you'd be like, this
Hmm.
has absolutely no
Yeah.
adds no depth to the series, and
Yeah.
there's no reason for this to be alive
Yeah.
except
Just
they
a
need
one
it.
off episode that,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm looking at you, Double Meat Palace, the one where she worked at fast food. That was awful.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got a couple minutes left. We'll talk about one more Netflix show very quickly. I don't think we need to spend a lot of time on it. It's a show called Rotten. And so what Rotten is, it is a docu-series that just premiered this week on Netflix about food. But it's not one of these being like, oh, this food is scary and let's see how gross this food is and do not eat it. It doesn't scare you. It's more about kind of the troubles that the people growing these specific foods are having and different worldwide issues. Like, for
Yeah.
instance, the first episode was all about honey.
Mhm.
And I thought it was kind of interesting. I don't know what you thought about it.
I really enjoyed it. I've in here in Canada, I've really been following the honeybee, the deaths of them and stuff. And I don't know if our laws are different here because in the episode I watched of the bee thing, they were talking about how they don't import Chinese honey,
Mm-hmm.
which I wasn't aware of because in Canada, I know a lot of our honey comes from China.
Oh, wow.
So that was really interesting to me. And they're talking about how they can test the pollen and see where they're coming from and how the Chinese exporters try to go in, circumvent the law and bring it in from other countries to get their money. It was really kind of scandalous, and I felt bad. And the guy whose honeybees got stolen, I never
That
knew
was
about the almond
crazy.
farms, about all these people coming to California
Yeah.
with their bees. I've never heard that.
Yeah, and a lot of these people would bring their bees, and one morning they come there, and they were all stolen by this group of guys that came in overnight
Yeah.
and just took all
Yeah.
these bees.
Equal to $100,000, they said.
That's insane. Yeah,
That
no,
they
I
stole.
thought some of the stories were interesting. I really found it interesting that one. I think her name was Stephanie. She was working with a company that was importing the honey, and they were importing from illegal places and stuff. And
German company, yeah.
Yeah, she was trying to leave the company or trying to leave the country, and they were trying to find a way to like arrest her, and they were able to get her. So that was kind of I thought that was kind
right
of
at the airport before she boarded her plane to escape. Because once you're in Germany, basically you can't extradite a German citizen to any other country.
Well, that's how that other guy, because she named another guy in her testimony, and they actually interviewed him.
The show, yeah.
Yeah, they interviewed him, and he's like, I'm here, and I can't leave anywhere. I'm stuck here. If I go somewhere,
he was kind of psychopathic to me. He was dead in the eyes.
He was.
He was dead in the eyes.
At the same time as like, do I believe this guy? Do I believe her? It's like,
no, I don't believe him. He knew what was happening.
I'm sure. But at the same time, it's kind of interesting that he chooses to be interviewed for this. So
yeah,
it's kind of interesting.
I wonder if they paid him. I work at a grocery store, and we have many different types of honey, and people are always asking me, because we'll have one honey that has like, I'm assuming it's Chinese writing on it, some sort of Asian writing. And you'll have another one and I'll pick it up. I'm like, oh, it's probably from China, right? That's why it has it. I'll look at it. And a lot of, I know it's like the Billy Bee honey, right? And they have on the side that their source is Chile, both of them. And I'm like, well, if they're both coming from Chile, why does one have Asian writing? Now I'm wondering if they get part of their honey also from China, but they don't have to name the source. They import it to Chile first. I don't know.
And I was
you'll see vast differences in price too. The one with the Chinese writing is much cheaper.
Yeah, and they're talking about how some countries around the world adulterate the honey, and they do different techniques, adding sugars and different syrups.
I never thought about that, but it makes so much sense because they're right when they say that there's, we're losing honeybees.
Yeah,
and we have less honey, pure honey,
but consumption is increasing.
Much, and there's so much supply still. And I never thought about it, but it makes so much sense.
Yeah, and it's crazy with consumption. Like, where is this honey coming from? And I found it really interesting. And
So now if you want to get good honey, I guess you're gonna have to go to the farmer's market and hope they're not giving you some fake shit. But I like when you go to the farmer's market and you get to taste the different types of honey, what flowers they
I've
eat.
done that before. Yeah.
I love it how different they taste. It's
Well,
so
that's kind of
weird.
like that creepy guy at the honey place at the end. He's like, "You want my wildflower honey?"
I know.
To the little
Because
girl.
I didn't need, I mean, I know that honey is bee spit, but I didn't need to tell you, like, do like fucking two girls, one cup version of it and talk about how they pass it back and forth in their mouths 3 times. And
And they got some really cool shots too of the bees.
yeah,
It
yeah, it was
really kind of.
neat.
So there's 6 episodes of the series. Episode 2 has a lot to do with kind of allergies, kind of centered around mainly with peanuts, but in
Mhm.
general, it's talking about allergies, which I thought was kind of interesting. I watched the very beginning of episode 3, and that's going to be about garlic. And the Chinese are back in that episode.
You know what? I'm not going to try to, like, say anything stereotypical, but we know that a lot of products from China are not up to standards that we would necessarily want or that our governments approve of. And it's kind of scary when things come from China.
Yeah, yeah. So it's interesting. Like I said, I'm only about 6 minutes into it, and then I think there's an episode about fish. I think cod, maybe.
Oh, the fish
Um,
farms and stuff, probably.
I think possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think there's one about milk and one about chickens. I think
Okay.
those are the other 3
I'll keep watching.
episodes.
I do watch a lot of like news documentaries that talk about like the animals and stuff. I don't tend to watch, the ones that are like trying to make me not eat meat because I will never stop eating a hamburger. I don't care.
Which I don't think this one. I mean, we'll see what happens
No,
when it gets to
we'll
like the chicken
see.
episodes.
Yeah.
But
But
at the
chickens
end,
don't live a very nice life.
yeah,
And, if you think your animal, even my cows, if you think they're living a nice life, they're not.
no. But at the same, yeah, it'll be interesting to see
Yeah.
how they approach those episodes.
Well, we'll talk about them in the future and see what we think when we
Yeah,
watch them all.
yeah, but yeah, I'm interested in the show so far. I definitely think it's a cool little show.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess that's it for the week. And we won't be on next week because Justin's going away for the weekend. But I
Nothing
guess we'll
too
be on.
exciting.
And I guess we'll be on the week afterward.
We should be, yes, as of now.
Yeah.
The plan.
And listen to our main show on Mondays and Wednesdays at 6:30. Have a good week.
Have a good one. Thank you.